I built this badass gaff to take on our trip to Key Largo. I only spent $5 and I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. It all started because I was running some wires through the boat. I reached into the side pocket, something stabbed me. There's something sharp in there. I'm gonna try to figure out what it is. Huh, gaff hook. Now I just needed a handle. So I went to the backyard, chopped down a piece of my wife's bamboo. Probably 10-12 feet long. Gonna hang it, let it dry. Try to hang it so it dries as straight as possible, but there's a couple usable sections out of this. All right, we're gonna walk over in the garage, get our spare paracord. We're gonna tie this thing up, and I think we're gonna hang it from that big pine tree back there. There's a branch. I'm gonna go up the hunting stand, tie it up right up there. But for right now, I'll get a loop tied up right here and we'll carry it over. Wrapped it around a few times, tied it. Get the paracord over that branch there, and then we'll hoist this up and tie it off for a couple weeks. All right, tied to that branch, hanging straight down. That's where it's gonna dry for about 2 weeks. Bamboo's been drying for 2 weeks. You can tell my hair's super long now. Did that just for the time lapse. I'm basically like Jeremy Wade's shirt in River Monsters. Strange reference, I know. So, still hanging way up there. I tied it to a branch, so I should just be able to untie it and drop it. All right, now we got to get this thing chopped to length, drill a hole in it, slide the gaff in, and everything else. I want to have a clean end when I chop this down, kind of split it a little bit. So I am going to come down to here, right below where I was cutting the sprouts off of. I'll cut it off there, make sure it's clean. So I got a dad's miter saw, and got a much cleaner cut on it. Next thing I needed was to drill a hole in the hook so I'd be able to pin it into the handle. See that the gaff hook inserts inside. That's nice. So I drilled a hole in this hook, so we'll put it in about that far. I will drill a hole in the bamboo, and then we'll put a steel pin through it, and then we will wrap the whole top of this handle. We will wrap the bottom where the grip will be, and then we will coat this thing in epoxy. Appears we have a gaff. As you can tell by my garage, I have about 3,000 projects in the middle of it. So I went over to the toolbox, I slid the gaff hook in till it got tight. It seems to hit this joint and it's more filled with wood. So it got tight there, I put a little red mark on it, and then I'll take that hook out. I'll place it on here, and then I will use that to align my drill hole in the bamboo. For a pin, I just went in the laundry room, grabbed a metal coat hanger, didn't say anything to the wife about that, and snipped off a piece of steel pin, bent it at an angle. All right, so I drilled the hole in the bamboo with lining it up with this red line at the top. That way it was sunk in far enough, and now I will put that together. I will slide a steel pin in through both sides, then I will bend it over, and then it's time to wrap. All right, the pin is in, so now I just have to bend it over. And then I will wrap this all up with cord. I'm gonna come down pretty far, about to here, go back up, wrap it around this real good, stabilize, and then I might do a decorative wrap around the outside in a separate color, but other than that, I will be epoxying over that so it'll harden all that up real good and fill the end so this gets rid of a little of that slop. Although I did have the blue paracord in the garage, I wanted something else, so I got went to the hardware store and I bought some red, white, and blue rope. To wrap the gaff, I got this braided sportsman rope. It's pretty much like paracord. I'm gonna wrap it with this, and then I have some blue paracord I might use as an accent to go over it, and then both of those will soak up the epoxy resin really good. All right, since you saw last, I did wrap the gaff. I did it laying in bed, so that's why I didn't video. Plus I didn't do anything fancy. I just went down, rolling it as tight as I could, and then back up over the blade, tied a knot, just kind of stuffed it in there. It's just for stabbing fish. It doesn't have to be super perfect. And then the end, I did the same kind of just regular wrap, and then I just did a kind of crisscross with blue paracord over it. I put this little loop on the end, and then I decided that's a terrible idea, because so you don't want something that's going to get caught on something on the boat, and then you're holding a razor sharp hook that could stab you, and you don't want to accidentally pull this out of its holder by the loop or something, and then it stabs somebody in the foot. So I'm going to cut that off before I epoxy this. I'm gonna mix up the epoxy now. Gotta find a container to do that in, and then we're gonna brush it on all this, and we're gonna hang this on a tree branch because it has this nice hanger on it, and we're gonna let it dry. It's a little cold today, probably 50 degrees right now, so dry time won't be super fast. For epoxy, I just went into the old cabinet and grabbed some from an old project. I'm gonna use the super clear tabletop epoxy from FGCI. I have this left over from when I built our kitchen dining room tabletop, and it's been sitting. It's perfect for this. It's certified food grade because, you know, these fish are food, hopefully. My mixing container is a top of the line Gatorade Zero, sugar free. It's very important when mixing epoxy. We are going to mix that 1 to 1, stir it up, brush it on, let her dry. So right in the middle of this, I realized I should definitely put a Terra-Shark sticker on and epoxy over it on the handle. So I'm gonna do that as I got just about too far with the epoxy. I got the top filled in real good, and I got down to about here, so that left me one section when I realized I should do that. So let's line it up on the backbone. Here it is in all of its glory, the Terra-Shark $5 bamboo gaff. Part of the reason I built mine so cheap is because my garage looks like this. I've got a bunch of projects, I've got a bunch of leftover pieces, I'm kind of a hoarder, but I bet with a little ingenuity, you could make one pretty cheap too.